Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I saw a very fascinating item come across the news wire. I don't know if any of you saw it. It appeared only briefly, but it's so intriguing that I followed it up with Canada Lands, which is a website that has news about Canada. It was about the deputy mayor of St. John, New Brunswick. Did anyone see this? Shirley McClary? Anyone saw this? She was annoyed that she thought there was too much bad news being published in any type of media about St. John. So she suggested that for the first 4 months of 2019, all the news outlets should only publish positive stories. No bad news. She says, I don't want you to sort of cancel the news, but she says if it isn't positive, I don't want you to cover it. So she says, if we don't have the money for it, for example, don't say anything about it. St. John, New Brunswick has one of the highest child poverty rates in Canada. Its economy is a mess. Where would one find only positive news? So the reporters went out and spoke to some of the citizens of St. John to see what they thought. If maybe they thought this was a good idea. Because let's face it, lots of people say, I don't watch the news. I'm sure you know people who say, I don't watch the news. Why? Because it's all bad. It's all bad. Everyone they interviewed thought that Deputy Mayor Perry had a bad idea. But I thought the most interesting comment came from a street musician who said, I don't think suppressing all the bad news would lead to positivity. He said, it would just lead to more ignorance. He said, unless we know the news, how can we appreciate the reality of where we are, the possibilities of where we can go, and more importantly, how can we take action? So I don't think you'll see only happy news about St. John in 2019, because the deputy mayor didn't get much support. But it's not surprising to me, as I said earlier, that lots of people only want to hear good news. But your good news might be my bad news. Who defines what is good news? For example, Dave, if one were to look at the hockey scores this morning, I would say, praise the Lord. Dave, whose Sens went down 5-2 to my house, might not think that was good news. All you Leaf fans out there might think 1 point is better than no points. But an OTL loss is an OTL loss from where I stand. So your good news might not be somebody else's good news. Your bad news might be somebody else's good news. The reports cited an article which was published in St. John newspaper about an explosion that had occurred in a refinery in town. An explosion at a refinery in town. And the newspaper, which happens to be owned by the same company that owns the refinery, showed a picture of this huge explosion. And the byline underneath read, Thanksgiving miracle. No one was injured. Someone's good news might be someone's bad news. If you're a fan of the environment, you might not think that was a good news story. If you're an owner of the company, you might think it's a great news story. What is good news? What is bad news? The gospel that we heard read today is all about separation, unquenchable fire, winnowing out the wheat from the chaff, the grain from the chaff, that which is going to be saved and that which is going to be cast aside. Where is the good news in that? Luke tells us John went on preaching good news. You brood of vipers. Where is the good news in that for us? Because it sounded pretty scary to me. But the good news is that, like our street musician St. John suggested, we can appreciate the reality. We can appreciate the opportunity for change. And we can take an action. Some people think ignorance is bliss. I'd rather not know. But in the case of my salvation, I think I want to know. I think I want to know where I might be going in a wrong direction. I think I might want to know what action I need to take. And more importantly, I think I might want to know how much time do I have. So some of those who heard John's good news, the brood of vipers that he was preaching to, asked the question, what should I do? Teacher, what can I do? Tax collectors, the most abhorred people in an occupied country, because they could collect as much tax as they could squeeze out of you, as long as they remitted to Rome the amount they were required. Soldiers of an occupying army could operate with impunity because there was no local government that was going to rein them in. And just the average wealthy person, maybe they needed to learn to share. John calls us out today and says, you have an opportunity. You can ignore the fact that Jesus Christ is coming, or you can take an action. And we're not called to do anything crazy. We don't have to ignore the bad news and drum up the good news. We just need to live into the normal spiritual and moral principles we're already aware of. We learned in kindergarten, and we all grew up with. Share. Speak nicely to one another. Be fair. Let someone else have a turn. Don't take more than you should. Be respectful and understood. We have what the people of John's time didn't have. We have an opportunity because we know in fact that Jesus has come and will come again. We have a pattern. We have an understanding. We aren't simply waiting for the prophet of the day to interpret the news for us. We already know the punchline, as it were. So what's the good news? The good news is that in our knowing, we can take action. Simple action. St. Paul suggests you only have to do one thing. Simply pray. Prayer is an action. Being aware of the needs and concerns of others and lifting them up to God is taking action. Pretending nothing bad is happening in the world, ignoring the newspapers, turning off the television. I guess I shouldn't do this. No one does that, to turn off the TV anymore. It's this, right? Sorry. I betrayed my age. I betrayed my age there. Whoa. Ignorance is no excuse in the law. We know. And in knowing, and in letting ourselves know more, no matter how horrifying sometimes bad news can be, we have the opportunity to do that thing God calls us to do, lift others up. In our prayers of the people, in our personal prayers, in our personal lives, take those few minutes to lift up, to remember. We may not be able to go and intervene in every world event, every municipal event, every provincial event, but we can make ourselves aware. We can expose ourselves to those things that sometimes we like to turn away from, and we can lift them up to God. And if we don't believe prayer works, then that's bad news for us. Amen.
Amen.